Blue Sky and Black Hat, an Earthside love affair. Written and performed by Stuart Bogue. Episode 4. As Joe leads his guiding star on a helter-skelter rush through our megacity's underbelly, he doesn't notice that the raven is no longer with them. The bird is elsewhere, earth magic on the wind. At some distance from the SHERPA ZIGG, there is a gathering crowd of citizens. People of all races, ages, and dispositions stand awestruck. They have flocked to the dilapidated temple precinct of the old city. Looking up into the sky, all eyes follow a raven gathering unseen for over a century. Hundreds of the iridescent black-blue birds whirl and swoop in feathered tapestry against a clear blue turquoise sky. Clean air means a world of colour. The magical wind that arose with the dawning of this woodhorse year continues to keep the smog at bay. Some old-timers in the crowd whisper to one another that a prophecy from long ago is being fulfilled. When woodhorse rises, when love enlivens universal heart song, sentinel ravens will return to the temple of Lungtar. More web-savvy players in the throng immediately make the connection to the now auspicious fortune cookie that went ultra-viral through Gaia Stream ahead of the GFC. When the horse of authority every now and then runs wild, use your companion's whip to tame that horse. Remember that. United, what happens will be the same thing that happens as the spark gets to the hay. Word spreads quickly as communication channels buzz with a spate of holograms and eyewitness accounts. Against the background of a GFC wildfire, twitchy authorities dispatch Ronin to disperse what could turn into an angry mob. As Ronin target the potential dissidents, they are still blind to another dimension here. Mingling in the crowd are some friendly strangers, outsiders with a knowing look in their eyes and an aura of compassion and power, rarely in evidence these days. Climax comes apace as the Ronin descend on the crowd like wolves upon a wayward flock. Even before they're able to settle into dispersion mode, the outsiders boil from within the crowd and strike with practiced speed. Citizens gawk as the typically invincible Ronin are decimated in short order by a united front of club-wielding Amazons. Here and there, ravens plummet into the fray from on high, savaging Ronin eyes with wild ferocity. Taking heart, some citizens decide to get into the mix. Suppressed rage from decades of exploitation and oppression is unleashed upon the retreating Ronin. Calmness eventually settles in as ravens alight all across the temple rooftop. In the virtual, a similar fate has befallen the E-Ronin, forced into digital oblivion by the extraordinary avatars of these outsiders, avatars that project a potent and alien viral power. About then, Gaia Stream overrides communication channels across the G37 grid. The site's most popular avatar, oracles, are speaking out in unison. Zero, Tara, and the wise old man reach out their message as one, and the same, it's spoken in every language, in every modality. Citizens of the G37, do not fear. Be at peace, be calm. This GFC is mere distraction. It is to be the GFC to end all GFCs. Amongst you now are the suffragitsu. Theirs is a mission of loving kindness and compassion. Power to Earth Mothers. Clean air and water to our children's children. They are something of the foretold spark that gets to the hay. Please shelter with family and friends for the time being. Our common future unfolds. Mother Nature is with you. Gaia Stream has opened a hardened and secure repository for you to share dreams, poetry, and everything from your muse within. Awaken the imaginal. Embrace freedom. Rejoice liberty. Look ahead with hard eyes open. Avoid the upside and the zigs for now. In megacities across the world, suffragitsu and totemic animals of every persuasion are rising up to lead. Raven, elk, bear, eagle, badger and other species have all entered the fray, all in tune with these outlandish warriors. Not only brave women, but strong men with imaginal mastery are rising up. As the ravens started to preen themselves and the crowds about the temple precinct begin to disperse, a solitary mountain eagle swoops in from the east. Immediately there is chaos. Ravens scatter as though crazed. All about the precinct, the Victoria Suffragitsu break down and weep openly. Foul news. The flying yogis are dead. Hunted down and ruthlessly massacred by the man's elite Ronin, none was spared. The man and his lot did not take kindly to their role in the party meltdown. Swift vengeance was simply good business. Small consolation was news that the Ronin had not found Bluesky and Blackhat. Meanwhile, at a deep and remote intersection of underground utility tunnels, Joe and Tara halt to the sound of water falling. Our megacity's roots include some deep subterranean aquifers, pretty much forgotten by modernity. Adjacent to this intersection there is a long drop. The waterfall is in fact front doorbell to Joe's garden home. They have reached their destination. Joe runs his open palms across the tunnel wall. Doors swing open and the couple look in upon a brightly lit jungle scene. Alive with the sounds of birdsong, surreptitiously drawing upon the city's power grid and the aquifers nearby, Joe has created a hydroponic garden of monumental scale. It thrives in what was once an abandoned block cave mine. The garden is floodlit by diurnally controlled light banks in the void's high ceiling. Their spectrum a healthy mix for plants. The air is rich with photosynthetically expressed oxygen. Bright butterflies flit, in time to the sounds of cicada and stream song. The couple have arrived in time for the Otter Lights On dawn chorus, most auspicious. This place is the labour of a lifetime. Clearly the man's men have paid well for Dodgy Joe's avatar services over the years. Tara gasps, both at the scale of what is before her, but also at the aura that now surrounds Joe. He beckons her to follow him into his garden home. She witnesses the depth of his love for nature and his special connection to his small kingdom of plants. He then leads her into a clearing in the forest. The smattering of holoscreens and hardware spells control centre and living room combined. They sit down and catch their breath. Powwow time. The recent melee at the Great Wall seems an eternity away. Joe opens up with an explanation of his home and his own beliefs. After all, for decades now, his avatar has been able to run the business for the man's men. In the real, he has devoted most of his time to this garden, resurrecting extinct species. As he speaks, the occasional bird flies out of the surrounding garden to perch on his shoulder. A savage-looking white badger scurries out to sit protectively at his feet. Without hesitating, Joe tells Tara about his childhood and how he lost his mother, Aurora, very early on. Proudly, he explains how she had been one of the first Sherpa to attain Kingfisher rank, high up in the hierarchy, but for some reason sacrificed in a GFC they had to have. He lost touch when their world fell apart back then. He often wondered where she may have ended up in her old age. Even his hunter-seeker avatar had failed to track her down. It was as if she had been erased from this world. As Joe paused, Tara suddenly sat bolt upright and looked up through the canopy with particular intensity. Speaking quietly, Joe could just hear her say, "So, my raven, victory and defeat come to us hand in hand. We must honour the flying yogi's sacrifice in the real. All unfolds. Game on." She then reached out and took Joe's hand. Speaking to him with forceful intent, she tells him that she has met his mother Aurora, that she is alive and well, living with Gaia-Stream's wise old man in this megacity. Together, they have been the architects of this particular GFC. Tara explains also that Bluesky, in the company of Blackhat, and now returning post-haste to the megacity to lead an insurrection. This uprising is now in earnest. Both in the city above and right across the G37, she explains that her raven is with the other birds, now returned to the abandoned temple precinct in the old city. Tara hastily added that it was foretold that the man's imminent resurrection procedure would fail, that he, Confucius Jesus Dodgy Joe, should now take stock of himself. Sherpas and Ronin were pulling together right across the G37 and things would now escalate. Obviously the man's men and the master would now stop at nothing to retain their stranglehold on power. Joe should stop hiding his light under a bushel. He must quickly reintegrate with his avatar and come with her to a war council. This would be led by his mother Aurora, the wise old man, and Bluesky. Simultaneously, other such councils were being convened across the megacity cartel. As if right on cue, the avatar me then dropped into their conversation. Good to be home, I reflected as I ghosted through Joe's garden network. As welcome, Joe touch-screened me and I looked back, smiling. It felt right to converge then. Again, core values aligning, as brothers be. Tara then gave us both a quick ABC lesson on the significance of the imaginal, how it was a key to a universal consciousness, more enlightened being. How Mother Nature herself was on site, working in concert with the suffragitsu to topple the G37 and rebalance humanity's gestalt. The GFC was just a tactical distraction to precipitate profound change. For too long, people had been exploited by the markets and pushed into a schizophrenic headspace between the real and the virtual. Ruthlessly exploited by a ruling class comprising the mega-rich patriarchs and the Sherpas. Humanity had been robbed of their heart song. I chimed right in then, noting that avatar rights were also being trampled upon. Change was long overdue in the virtual too. Hey-ho, thought Joe. Obviously time to step out and follow his guiding star. As Tara finished speaking, a monitor in the canopy above them seemed to sing out, "Here and now." That was me. Looking about him, Joe rose and quickly tapped a nearby console, welcoming me back more formally. For now, I was no longer required to ghost the low-Earth orbiting satellite networks. Hand in hand, he and Tara set out through the forest and back into the tunnel system. No time to lose, destiny calling.